More than 100 families in Woodstock could lose their homes if plans for a new subdivision move forward. The Ansley Park mobile home community has been around for decades. Woodstock planning commissioners voted to annex and rezone it from Cherokee County, but not adopt certain variances. Instead, the area is being planned to build a new, much more expensive subdivision. Those who live there now worry they will be priced out.
Right now, we're just trying to save up as much money as possible.
They're treating these people as disposable, right? As a human life as disposable, instead of, seeing them as who they are, which is people who are integral to the community.
A representative for the owner says families will get plenty of time to move out, but people are concerned nothing is in writing. Woodstock City Council gets the final vote, which is scheduled for August 24th.